Hi guys, welcome to the end of week 8. We're going to be talking about character design this week. So from your assignments, the activity was to start analyzing shapes and how they apply to different characters and how they make you feel about different characters and all that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to break it down over here for you. Within character design, this is a philosophy within character design called shape design. It's basically at the core level of characters, there are three basic shapes, and that would be a square, a circle, and a triangle. These three basic shapes will make you feel specific things subconsciously, psychologically. They will affect you in different ways, and I'll explain it. So you can base characters around these very simple shapes to give your desired kind of meaning, to give your desired kind of effect. You can combine shapes together, you can push and pull, but I'll just break it down. So basically, you think of a square, right? What's a square about? Okay, so it's rigid, probably not going to fall over. It's solid, cemented to the ground, dependable, strong, sturdy. A circle. A circle is flexible. It can roll. You can touch it. It won't hurt your hand. Things that are round, uh, probably safe to touch. Reassuring, uh, friendly. Um, a triangle. Okay, where do triangles occur in nature, right? Okay, so thorns, spikes, the teeth of predator animals, knives, blades, things that can hurt you. You probably don't want to touch something that's sharp. So that innate sort of psychology is embedded within the shape of a triangle. So let me start showing you some characters and how these shapes apply. So first off, super simple, Mickey Mouse. Basically, he's all circles, his head, his ears, his hands are really rounded, his feet are really rounded. Basically, what's the point? The point is he's supposed to be like friendly, his personality is friendly, approachable, he's supposed to be kid-friendly, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, let's look at Mike and Sully from the Pixar movie Monsters, Inc. You've got Mike. Mike is the big one. He's basically if you, in the simplest terms, he's a square. He's square jawed, but he's he's elongated, so he's more of a rectangle. And or is that Sully? I actually can't remember the names, but this little dude here, he's basically he's a little circle. So he's kind of like he's more funny, flexible, softer. Whereas the other guy, the big blue guy, he's sturdier, stronger. He's definitely the muscle in this team, the stronger of the two. Let's look at let's just look at the design of Mufasa and Scar from The Lion King, right? So they're both lions, right? So lions in the wild don't really look that much different from one another. So what are the kind of things that the animators were thinking about when they designed these characters? Well, basically, if you look at Mufasa, very square jawed. He's, the leader, the strong one, the king, dependable, sturdy, solid. He's a solid character. Versus Scar, who's more like he's thinner, more slender, more angular, it's more pointy. He's in his face is. See how Mufasa is squarer, and Scar's is pointy, more angular. Even his eyebrows, his eyes, that sort of thing. That you can tell which one of the two is evil. When we look at was it Jumba and Pleakley from Lilo and Stitch? This is something that Grace talked about in the discussion forum. Basically, Jumba is the second character here, and he's basically all circles, big circles, all that kind of stuff. I would argue that he's a combination of a square and a circle. So square being really kind of big, solid, blocky, strong, but then you round him out with circles because the character is, though he's I guess quote unquote one of the bad guys in the beginning, he does soften and he helps the main characters as the story progresses. So he's strong but soft. The other character, Pleakley, you can see he's a smaller one. He's very thin, wiry. He's probably more flexible of the two, the faster. But again, also rounded face, rounded head. So he still has that friendly thing, that sort of friendly nature built into his design. Let's look at Jafar and Iago again. So Jafar, pretty much all, again, it's the same sort of design as Scar, really. It's all angles, all triangles, all that kind of stuff, right? Because he's the villain. Now, check out Iago. Iago is also bad, right? He's also, Jafar's bird, but he's supposed to be the bad guy, but he's also supposed to be more of a comedic element. So again, you can see very sharp features on his eyebrows, his beak, but he's also kind of very pudgy, very rounded. So he's mean, but he's also supposed to be a source of comedy, Let's look at Miguel and Tulio from The Road to El Dorado. So again, Miguel is squarer, more square-jawed. He's shorter than Tulio, but also if you look at his whole head, the shape that his hair gives him, it's more rounded, and he is the more friendly of the two. And Tulio, see, more angular, sharper features. He is the more cynical of the pair. So over here, back when I was talking about in Jumba, he basically is square, but he's rounded out quite a bit by all the circles. So that's square and circles. What if we then we did squares and spikes? And I was thinking of the Rhino character from the Spider-Man comic and movie. He's basically, right, he's a big-ass square over here, solid, he's basically a human battering ram. But you have the triangle nature of his horns and the suit over here and the guns, whatever, because he's supposed to be menacing. He's not supposed to be soft and touchable or approachable or anything like that. He's a big, dangerous dude. He's more solid and square, but he's got that point and that edge to him. His horn, he'll run into you, or in this movie design, he's got guns and all that kind of stuff. You flip it and you go Sonic, right? Classic Sonic. He's a combination of triangles and circles. Triangles because he's fast, he's spiky, he's got attitude. This is the 90s when everything was extreme. He's fast, he's spiky, he's got attitude. He moves at supersonic speed. However, he's the hero, and he is supposed to be kid-friendly, and it's not super serious. So he's rounded out quite a bit with all the circles. Same sort of deal with Pikachu. Pikachu again is basically more circle, but also a bit of triangle, because he's supposed to be cute, cuddly, friendly, but he's also got that bit of edge where he can just electrocute you if he doesn't like you. Again, these are some designs from it was a Ninja Turtle game a while ago. So these are some of the initial concepts done by a concept artist called Carlos Swante. Carlos Swante. He's one of the creature designers from the original Men in Black. So again, you can see the 4 turtles, right? They're all turtles, right? But how can we distinguish them? So just by assigning these basic shapes to their personality and sort of modifying their body type to match. So over here, We've got Raphael. He's basing Raphael off the square, because Raphael is basically like the most physically strongest. Also very stubborn, hot-headed in his attitude, right? Um, Always like he just wants to fight and very stubborn. And then we got Leonardo. I guess he's a bit shorter than Raphael. But again, I guess the most focused. He's got swords, the most focused, sharpest of the group. Maybe the most skilled. So though Raphael would be physically stronger, Leonardo is more like focused, direct, and I guess dangerous with his sword. Over here we got Leonardo. So we got Donatello and Michelangelo. Donatello is supposed to be the more, I guess the least violent of the group. He's more the scientist. So you're taking a circle, and again, making him. He's like the tallest of the group as well, and just making him using a circle. He's sort of less threatening. I guess that's the idea. And then Michelangelo, again, he's also circular. Like he's fun, he's friendly, approachable. However, so it's a funny thing. We got like this normal circle and then this really stretched circle. So over here, you would think this is, I guess, a kind of looser kind of circle. Michelangelo is supposed to be more fun-loving, party-going dude. So he's shorter, squatter, but still pretty round, and yeah, that's the sort of design philosophy that they use in the initial phase for that. Again, they sort of did it for the Ninja Turtle movie. So the first concept I showed you was for a game, and these are the designs for the Michael Bay produced movie. It's the same sort of thinking, I guess. Like Raphael is a big square, Michelangelo is short, more rounded. Leonardo is the most, I guess, regular or of the group, and then Donatello, I guess, over here is very much like a stretched out circle. What else do I got? You can sort of, that's basically it for the shape design. So basically, you can use the three basic shapes: triangles, squares, or circles. Squares, triangles, or circles. Or you can combine them, like we got with Sonic and Pikachu or the Rhino. You can also combine iconography. Maybe I'll talk on that another time, but I'll just give you a quick explanation. So when you think of Darth Vader, right, the big bad villain from Star Wars, it's not so much shapes that are being used, but it's imagery. It's combining imagery for the character design. Basically, you've got a skull, and Darth Vader represents the Empire. They're basically fascists, and so you combine a skull with the imagery of like the Nazi. Basically, the Empire, like space Nazis. So you combine the imagery of SS soldier, World War II German soldier, plus a skull. Darth Vader is basically the embodiment of death, right? His body was burnt to hell, and he's basically on life. The suit is his life support. He himself is dead inside. He lost his wife, and he thought he lost his children. He went to the dark side, so he's sort of dead inside. So he basically, you can see they just mix. It's basically a skull plus a Nazi helmet, and that's Darth Vader. So you can do stuff like that as well. But yeah, that's basically all I wanted to talk about this week. I hope that clarifies some stuff for you guys, and hopefully you can use that in your work if you are stuck, And again, as you can see from the examples, the characters don't literally have to be circles or squares or triangles, but you can see how these basic shapes apply to those overall designs. So yeah, you can just think about that kind of stuff when you're designing. You know, over here you can totally see squares and triangles. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it. I'll make sure you post in your visual diary, and make sure you contribute to the discussions going on in the discussion forum. Okay, thank you.